Hello again and welcome to the Warhammer 40k Imperial Guard Tactics video. Now before we get into today's video, I want to say a super huge thank you to Andre Ravenna, I hope I pronounced that correctly, for sending in these really cool action shots of his Legio Gladius 11th Mechanized Infantry Army. Absolutely fantastic pictures, loving the explosions, loving the action shots. Thank you very much, Andre, for sending in these really, really cool pictures. I really like the way the grey and the yellow sort of pops together. If anyone else has got any cool pictures they want to send in to me, please post them to my Facebook page. There will be a link down in the description below. And if you've got any cool pictures, post them. I like action shots, and I'll try and use them in a video. I like to show off the hard work that other people have put into their armies. So if you've got any cool pictures, please send them in to me. Now, today's video, we're going to be revisiting an old piece of equipment. We're going to be having a look at the Vox Caster. Now the question is the Vox Caster worth it? Okay, because the reason I've been given reason to come back to the Vox Caster recently is I've been going more and more towards my pure infantry army again, and I have been suffering a little bit from the rule of 3. The fact that I can only take 6 officers in my army is, I'm finding that I don't always have an officer where I need them to be. In my mechanized army, it's not a problem. I don't need Voxes in my mechanized army at all. But in my infantry army, I am finding I'm having units out on flanks that I could really do with moving or something, or first one fast fire, and it's just I'm not quite finding that I've got my officers absolutely everywhere. However, because what the Vox Caster allows you to do is it allows you to basically have an 18-inch range on your orders. The problem is that they cost 5 points each, and while it doesn't seem like a lot, you've got to put one on pretty much every single squad. Now there are ways around this, well, don't bother putting them on your first wave of infantry, they're going to die anyway, just I want your second and third line waves. And yeah, that makes sense, but I think I'm just tending to find that Vox Casters are a luxury and they're nice to have. I just don't know if they're worth it yet. And so there have been, the one thing that Vox Casters are quite good is, and it's something I didn't appreciate until my latest battle report. Now I'm not sure when this video is coming up. Okay, it's probably going to be after the Mordian Iron Guard Tau battle report. But if you go back and watch that report, I lose my warlord and one of my other officers is threatened because I don't have Vox Casters, and I have to expose them. I have to expose them so that they are able to issue orders to important units, and then they die, and it costs me a point, it costs me a warlord point. And so I'm starting to find that what Vox Casters, if you're taking them to extend the range of your orders, that's not actually their purpose. This is kind of like the epiphany I've had. Vox Casters are not there to help your infantry squads. Okay, they're there to protect your officers. By having that 18-inch range, you don't have to expose your officers to unneeded dangers. And your officers are so important in your Imperial Guard army. Okay, they're so important. And I can just tell you this because I've been using a lot of Gene Stealer cult stuff recently, and I can just tell you that whilst neophytes have got a lot of stuff going for them, you can take them blobs of 20, you can take loads of special weapons on them. They've got Leadership 8 standard, the sergeants could take las rifles / autoguns, you've got all these cool things. The problem is that they just aren't as good as guardsmen. They're just not as good. They cost 1 point more and they don't have access to orders. But the orders are what make guard fantastic. And if you have just neophytes versus just guardsmen, the neophytes are actually better overall. But with order support, the guard becomes fantastic, and you have to protect your officers in order to have that continued order support. And how do you protect your officers? Do you put them in like chimeras? Do you blah blah blah? You've got all these trying things, or just keep them off the front lines. Keep them protected, nice and safe behind the front lines with a couple of infantry squads with a Vox Caster. That's the key. That's the hidden gem to the Vox Caster. It protects your vital assets. If you've got a senior officer, then he you don't want to lose him, especially if you've got something like Creed as well. Creed and Kel, you can do like 4 orders in a turn or something crazy. You could have Creed and Kel next to 2 squads of infantry, and then only one of those squads of infantry next to you needs a Voxcaster, and then you've got 2 more squads of infantry up front. You've only had to spend 3 Voxcasters for 4 units. Saves you 5 points. And I think that's the key to the Vox, okay? It allows you to protect your officers, and you have to get good at using them efficiently. Don't put them on every unit, okay? Don't put them on every unit, because, you know, for example, you know how I like to have my 3 waves of infantry. I like to have my front wave, which is sacrificial. They're going to get charged, they're going to get shot, I don't care. Then you have your second line. That's where you want your Voxcasters in that second line. So you only really need to put them on 2/3 to half of your infantry. You shouldn't really be spending more than 50 to 75 points on Voxcasters any more, and it's just getting way too inefficient. I think that's what the video comes down to. Okay, if someone is here looking for a yes or no answer, Voxcasters or no Voxcasters, the answer I would say is they are a luxury, but they are not a necessity. They are not an absolutely vital piece of equipment. You do not need to take Voxcasters. However, they have their uses. Unlike at the beginning of 8th edition, where they were completely pointless, they are now useful. They're not essential, but they are useful. And I think that's the key thing to take away from this video, especially if you've built a load of guys with Voxcasters and you feel like shit because people are telling you they're not worth it. Okay, they're wrong. You just have to use your Voxcasters smart. Okay? And if you want to be a smart guard player, that's absolutely fine. And you want to, you know, have these little tricks in your sleeve, that's absolutely fine, and it will help you. And if you can get it to work, then that's great. But often what us guard players have found in the past is that you could take Voxcasters, you could have all this intricate Vox network set up, or you could just take more guys with more plasma guns and just drive them at the enemy. There are, you know, that's the way you got to think about it. Are those points well spent? So, summarise, no, Voxcasters are not essential. They are more useful than they have been, but they are not an absolutely be-all and end-all piece of equipment. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.